Welcome back, everybody. This is Jasmine continuing on with all these interesting questions we've received through email and social media. We've already filmed a number of parts of this, but we wanted to keep the videos relatively brief because I know that people don't always want to listen to an hour or more, and this is a big topic. Jenny originally wrote in and said, do a video on what happens when we die. So we've been focused on that. Obviously, we've been inviting you to do research through the field of clinical hypnotherapy, because what I love about the hypnotherapists, they've discovered when they take people from beta brainwave pattern frequency to alpha and then to theta, people remember everything. Past lives, parallel lives, life between lives, future lives, because the human construct is really, really interesting, because we are vast, multi-dimensional beings, and we have the opportunity here now to experience who we really are. I've created a very particular way of living. Many of you know that generally I choose to be source-fed. I know experientially, without a doubt, that there are waves of energy washing through me of formlessness. It's that 99.999% space that we all have vibrating in our atoms. I've studied a lot the attributes of the formlessness vibrating through our atomic structure and what it can deliver. And it has many levels and many harmonics, one of which is, yes, it can feed us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So we're eating all the time, but differently. But the game of harmonics, living on our own, is very different to living with each other all the time, to being in lockdown, in a pandemic phase, for example, and mixing and melding all our energy. And we talked a lot in the last video about the power of unconditional love and to not judge another's journey, to trust that our essence is guiding our life just as it breathes us, and so is the multidimensional essence and nature of every other human being on earth guiding their life as well, even if it doesn't seem like it. Then Marsha asked, well, what about pets? What happens to pets when we die? In this unconditional love, that's it. What happens to pets when they die? Not just when we die, but when they die. But what about here now? I lost a beautiful companion this year, a cat, very supreme being, pure, unconditional love, telepathically connected, so much wisdom. He knew exactly what everybody needed when they came into the house. If anybody needed unconditional love, he'd be straight on their lap. The purring would recalibrate all their energy system, because purring of a cat can heal a human being. We know that cats can be in nursing homes and they will sit on the bed of the one that's going to die that night. And many nurses go, oh, we're about to lose this patient. How do you know? The cat is with them. So the cat consciousness, as you've seen through these videos, I've got 2 new kittens and they're very active in my life, and they're not as in love with me yet as my past companion, but they're slowly getting there. But they come and give me endless unconditional love on their terms when they're ready. We're still learning our new home harmonic, because they've come into my home as unsure, not yet fully developed beings. They're still in kitten stage. So when my companion died recently, the first thing I did was sit in meditation and connect with him. Why? I love you. I wasn't ready for you to die. You were only 6. And I got such a clear voice that said it was just his time. And I realized later that he was exiting so I could open my space for 2 new ones of the same breed kittens who would add a different layer again into my life and continue with the delivery of unconditional love, because I am learning more and more about the subtleties of harmonious living. Now with a dog it's different. So here you have horses, here you have cats, here you have dogs, here you have dolphins, here you have whales. Now, dolphins and whales we know are superior beings. We know they've migrated in from the Sirian star system to be the caretakers of planet Earth until human beings remembered again who we really are and stop playing games of division and ego and separation and control and the things we play when we're disconnected from the experience of the truth of who we really are. So the cat consciousness is interesting. Most of the animal kingdom of horses, dogs and cats, it is said they are part of a group field of consciousness. And you see it with birds, migratory birds, when they're telepathically connected, energetically connected, and they move as one wave. Isn't it interesting how my daughter's cat, when she was living with me, it would sit at the door 10 minutes before she was due home. When I noticed her cat going to sit at the front door, it was my alarm. It was like, she's coming home. She'll be here in 10 minutes. I could time it. Always 10 minutes, sometimes 5, if the cat had maybe been off radar a little bit to her, but they were so bonded with this beautiful unconditional love story. So here we have this consciousness, a very high vibratory consciousness. Cats, for example, known by Isis and others in Egypt to be superior beings descended from the star system Lyra, where the Lyran star system we have master geneticists who are connecting with and refashioning the genetic structure of the multiverses. They descend from there to offer wisdom, healing, and unconditional love. They descend from there, they ascend back into this group pool. Some stories say that these ones will hit a vibratory frequency where they move out of the group consciousness pool of cats and dogs and horses, and if they've received enough unconditional love back, they will then begin their journey in the human life wave. I find maybe that's true, maybe not, I don't know, but I really find that there are beings in the animal kingdom that are already operating in a superior manner to most of the human life wave. But that's just what I've noticed. Here they are. Oh, they vibrate, especially our dogs and many of our cats, dolphins. All they vibrate is healing energy of unconditional love and compassion. To me, we don't do that yet as a species. So could we say perhaps that these animals are going back into the unified field of group unified consciousness that is anchored purely in love? From that field they descend, from that field they reascend, bringing gifts. How many people are not lonely because they have these beautiful animals in their lives? How many people are being given constant streams of nothing but unconditional love from these divine beings who take the form of these furry little animal friends?